Hey there, folks. Good evening. This is going to be a debrief of the event, the Niseko Film Festival, which just finished. I'm on my way home from it right now, so I want to go over it while it's fresh in my mind. So we could call this a Carmentary episode or an event debrief. I don't know, whatever. Let me have a sip of coffee here. Oh, it has been a long day. A lot of driving. I had a job early this morning, videotaping an open campus event at a university, and then I drove out to Niseko to the Park Hyatt Hotel, which hosted the Niseko Film Festival. The Niseko Film Festival is kind of a local film festival. You have to use footage captured in the Shiribeshi region, which is this whole area around Niseko, including Rusutsu and Otaru and areas like this. So whatever you film in this area, you can put it together into a movie, you can enter it into the competition. They had 28 entries this year. They culled that down to 17. I threw one in there as well, and I'm thankful that it made the cut to be into the 17. I did not win a prize today. I did not expect to win a prize today. I just wanted to. I was a judge in the past. I have emceed the event once, and the people putting on the event are friends of mine. They asked me to MC again this year, and I was like, no, I really want over the next couple of years to make a couple more good movies and throw them in there and see what people think. So this year it was kind of really last minute. I didn't really plan it out. I had no script or screenplay, and that is going to be my first point. You have to, if you want to place top 3, or if we go by this year, if you want to place top 2, you have to really have some animal trying to cross the road here. You really have to have a proper script. Yeah, and cinematic with a script. That's kind of the key to win the top spot. If you want to make second or third place, you can go with some really high quality cinematography and really good skiing or snowboarding, or a mix of both. So a kind of a classic ski or snowboard little flick. The length is only 5 minutes, so you only get up to 5 minutes max to tell your story. But if you go with really, top-notch skiing, snowboarding, drone stuff, beautiful colors, really nicely filmed, you can win second or third. And in third place, there was a little short film. It didn't have it wasn't story based, but it had a great message. It had a theme and a message, and that took third place. So it was a good balance. You see what I'm saying? You've got cinematic, scripted movie with no writing at all, by the way. It's this little story that's kind of narrated, and it takes us from this guy in his house, and he does all, the typical getting ready to go snowboarding and splitboarding, and he climbs up a mountain and all this stuff while telling this story. And then, spoiler, but the guy drops in and we don't even see him ride, and that's the end of the movie. So, well done, well thought out, well filmed, nice all around. I really liked it. I was like, yeah, that's probably the one. I kind of guessed the first and second ones. I picked those out. I was definitely top 3 for both of these. I didn't know which would take 1 and 2, but in second place was a movie called Smooth, which is smooth, pronounced the way people pronounce it here in Japan, Smooth. And that was beautiful cinematography with really high quality skiing and snowboarding, a lot of yote, kind of high elevation, stuff you really have to hike for. And you can see that they put the work in to get there, to get the shots, and they went the extra mile to really put it together. The music was really good too. I thought it was really good. It sort of ended abruptly. That was the only, it didn't, like, when you do these sort of more writing-based movies, it's hard to, like, you know, have like a conclusive ender, especially when you've only got 5 minutes, you know, it's a short little thing, but it just sort of suddenly ended. That was my only critique, but it's not a bad thing. It's a great movie. It was really well done. Third place, I forgot the title, but it was a short film, and it had kind of a message about climate change and, you know, like preserving winter for future generations, and some beautiful drone footage, some surfing, snowboarding and skiing. I believe it was a little mix. It wasn't very long. It was like one of those short and sweet, just like hit you with the beauty, hit you with the soulful message, bam, done. Like, okay. And those movies, like, they do good too. Now, I was kind of aiming for that myself, with like a soulful message and, you know, just sort of fast-paced editing. But obviously I had no script and no real story, and I didn't have like super high quality writing footage either. So that you can stop watching the video now. I'll talk a little more, but if you just want the key points, those are the key points right there. All in all, let's talk about the event for a minute. God damn, that Park Hyatt is nice. I really like that place. Is like, I'd never be able to stay there. Oh, I'm not, never say never, you know. I'm sure any day now, I'm just gonna like start getting those huge accounts, you know, people paying me like millions of dollars to make commercials or something. And then I'll be able to stay at the Park Hyatt. In the meantime, I only go there for events. The last time I went there was Tamai Taro's 60th birthday party, which was amazing. In the same room, but this time I talked to Aaron, who was involved in the production of the event, and they opened up this outside deck. Like, there's this big space outside. So you have an indoor room. They had 3 screens, 2 in the front, 1 on the side. Chairs. It was packed. I couldn't even get into the room. Like, you had to. That's another thing. If you want a seat at the event next year, you got to get there early and claim your seat and stay there for the whole time. Like, you can't get up and leave or someone's going to take your chair. It was packed. It was packed with everyone was between like 18 and 25. I swear to God, it was a super young crowd. And then everyone in their late 40s and 50s, people like, I was like, I probably know that guy. But it was a lot of young, international, pretty much like, it felt like 90% or more international, Australian, New Zealand, Britain, Greece, France. There were people from all over, and it was cool. It was very cool, kind of core ski resort crowd. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Park Hyatt has a really good Chinese restaurant, and just good food in general is my image. Eaten there a couple times. They had little booths set up outside. They had like nikuman, they had hot dogs, they had pizza, they had popcorn, they had just, you know, general event kind of food. I had the nikuman hot pork buns. I had 2 of them actually. They were very good because I knew they make good Chinese food there, so I was like, okay, I'm going with the Chinese nikuman. So that was very good. And what else? 500 yen beers. Everybody was getting pretty loaded on the beers. They played the music outside extremely loud. The actual sound quality coming out of the speakers was not that great. It was a little, they were maxing out the speakers a little bit, but the fact that they could play music that loud outside at the Park Hyatt, and with, you know, there's a lot of rich people staying in the rooms probably complaining about the noise, but yeah, because the event was basically 100% non-Park Hyatt clients. It was like all people coming there just for the event, which was kind of interesting. But like I said, I love that place, and it's a great place to do events. I look forward to it next year. I hope it gets bigger and bigger, and I'm going to keep trying to put something together. I just need to get to work on it a little bit earlier. Like, once you see the path and you go and you see the movies, you're like, okay, now I know at least what to do to put myself definitely in the running. Final comment will be that 28 films, you know, people put in. They called out 10 maybe that weren't so great. But the fact is, you know, now with a phone, with like an iPhone 15, you can make top quality cinematic film. You can edit the whole damn thing on your phone. You can submit it from your phone. Like, you do not need expensive camera equipment anymore. That is not the key. You could have some AI write your script for you, for Christ's sake. Like, you can make, you know, stuff that will compete with top pros. So it's not about the equipment anymore, and I really felt that in the volume of the films. And even a few years ago when I emceed it, it was a lot more of like production companies that had come over to film something, and they're the people with the cameras and the editing knowledge and, you know, professional writers, etc. So they were like, oh, there's this film contest. Okay, we'll make a film and we'll send it in. And it had that a little bit more of a professional skier snowboard industry kind of vibe to the films. Whereas this year, it felt very homegrown. It felt very, you know, if you say amateurish, that word sounds bad, so I don't want to say it like that, but homegrown. It felt like the people who are putting in the movies, you know, were not necessarily people with filmmaking experience. Some of them were, obviously, but there were movies in there that felt like it was just, you know, one of the crew who was like, hey, there's this movie festival, they're putting up prize money, we can do something, like, let's make it happen. Oh, hey, you got a camera, you know, I got my phone, let's do it, you know. People were putting it together. That is one thing. The other thing I felt that has really changed, and I'm going to blame this on social media again, because I like scapegoating social media. I remember my generation watching ski and snowboard movies, especially with a crowd, like for a movie premiere or like a film festival kind of thing like that. If it's in, or like the Banff Mountain Film Festival, anything like that. So you could be like mountain biking or any of these action sports, skating. When the movie starts, you have a little intro, and then maybe like the first action scene. So if it's like a skier doing a huge air, or a snowboarder with a massive powder spray or whatever, that's like kind of this thing where people would go, yeah! And they, like, you know, like, yeah! And if it was someone you knew, you'd like be screaming their name, like, oh, dude! And there was like almost none of that. Like 1%. Like, it was very small. And I was like, oh, people aren't into the like skiing and snowboarding anymore. And I started thinking about it, and to be honest with you, I think it's oversaturation. I think it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you look at, you know, you look at that stuff all day, and if you're in that kind of scene and, you know, you have, that's what your friends do, and you all love skiing and snowboarding, and you're living and working at a ski resort, like, your whole digital feed is going to be filled with that stuff, and you're going to see so goddamn much of it that you're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, you gotta, you know, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I really kind of felt that this year, and that's why it seems like last year's film also had no snowboarding or skiing in it, and that one won. This one had the essence of the snowboarder mountain person lifestyle, like getting up, getting dressed, getting the gear on, climbing up a mountain, all that kind of stuff was in there, but it didn't actually show any of the riding, and that one won the top prize. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, there's less and less need for the hardcore skiing and snowboarding footage. Honorable mention, and it goes with what I'm just saying here, In Crew is like a local Niseko based kind of film crew. They make videos, all Japanese riders. They put in a film. Several of the judges made comments about it and said it was like their favorite film, and it was like they thought it was really great because the riding was really good. They had really like quality pillow lines, turns, like well filmed, good style riding, highly, edited, executed. Like the quality of the action stuff was top notch. The quality of the filming also top notch. They did not have like a scripted story. That was their loss. Like if they had woven in some kind of a narrative story to that quality of riding, they would have taken first or second place for sure. So top-notch riding alone not only is not winning with the judges, but it's not winning with the crowd either. The crowd gave it a great round of applause, and there were a few like oohs and ahs like in that video, I have to admit. That the one video that kind of garnered some reactions to the action shots, that was the one. Along with the Smoozu, the one that took second place. But yeah, the world has shifted. The world has shifted and changed, and the crowd is like, man, they've been there, done that. They know, they've seen that shit. They do that stuff all the time. They're like, you better either do like some unbelievable stuff, or we're not really gonna, scream for a powder turn, So that's it. That's my report. All in all, very good. I'm sure it's going to continue. If anybody out there is looking for a great event to sponsor and get behind, I highly recommend it. There's definitely room for improvement with the music and the sound system and DJing, and they may need an even bigger venue. Like you could not get into the room to see the movies. You could see them outside too, but it was prohibitively cold outside. It wasn't snowing, but standing around there in the cold for like 2 hours to watch movies on a screen outside was like, nah, you kind of want to be inside where it's warm and have that theater vibe, It was cool though. It was dope to see all those people there showing love for the community. There's a hell of a community there. Very impressed. All right, I think that's enough. I'll let you go. Look forward to next year, and now that I've given you all the tips and tricks, all you got to do is write that script, get work to film it.